The issuing station is the last step before actual voting takes place, and it's the job of the issuing clerk to hand out the actual voting ballots. Two things the issuing clerk will be looking for when the voter approaches are the designator card and the secrecy sleeve. If a voter doesn't have these, they probably haven't checked in and need to be directed back to the poll book clerk. This does happen. Sometimes a voter walks into the polling station and doesn't recognize the flow. It's a simple mistake. As the voter presents the designator card, the issuing clerk will select the appropriate ballot corresponding to the code on the designator card. The ballots come attached to a stub and are stapled together in pads of 50. The issuing clerk will remove a ballot from the pad. Near the bottom of the ballot, there is a small box that says Official Stamp. The issuing clerk has the official stamp and will stamp inside that box the election and date. This is done in green ink. The reason for green ink is because the ballot counting machines cannot read green ink. Once the ballot has been stamped, the ballot is placed inside the secrecy sleeve and given back to the voter. There are some instructions the issuing clerk can give to the voter. Make sure the voter is comfortable with the type of ballot being used. If the voter has recently moved here from another area, they may not be familiar with our types of ballots. Ada County uses oval optical scan ballots. Ask if they have any questions. There is a sample ballot at the issuing station the voter can reference. Make sure you remind voters to deposit their ballot before they leave. Sometimes a voter will put their filled-out ballot back in the secrecy sleeve and walk out the door. Not only does their vote not count, but it also throws off your count at the end of the day. Give the voter a gentle reminder to make sure that they turn their filled-out ballot in at the receiving station.
And once you're done voting, please turn in your ballot at the receiving table.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ask the voter if they have any questions before they enter the voting booth. As a poll worker, you are not allowed to give any information on candidates or issues. You can only offer answers on the process, not opinions on the content. That's not to say a voter cannot bring in their own information.
And I brought some notes with me on who I'd like to vote for and the issues and whatnot. Can I take that with me?
Oh, absolutely.
Voters are allowed to bring in notes, literature, even another person with them to help them in the voting booth. If there are a lot of issues on the ballot, voters may wonder if they have to vote for everything. The answer is no. They can vote for only the issues they want to vote for. Make sure they know that their vote will count. Whatever they fill in will be counted. They do not have to vote for every race or issue. With their ballot and secrecy sleeve in hand, the voter is directed to the voting booth. It's important that the voter is directed to an open voting booth. People like their privacy, and you do not want a line of people at the booth. If a line needs to develop, let it form back to the issuing station and not at the individual voting booth. As soon as a booth becomes available, direct the next voter in line to the open booth.